Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my coming off of birth control video. I have been wanting to do this for about a little over a year now. As you can tell by the title, I was on hormonal birth control for 6 years and I will be off in April for now 2 whole years. The sunlight is going to be going in and out this whole time because I just feel like direct sunlight is so much nicer. It makes things look more realistic, so that's why we are in the direct sunlight. I'm sure as things change, the sun goes down, it goes in and out, I will move wherever I need to move. In April, it will be 2 full years since I stopped taking it. Now, I have so many things to say about this topic. Since coming off, it has consumed my life. Not in a bad way, more just in a knowledgeable, I want to learn more, I want to know what's going on type of way. Also, can we just admire this beautiful pink? I don't know what it is right now. I feel like Valentine's Day starts approaching and I just love pinks. So I'm like so into this color right now. Anyway, I have another pink journal full of a bunch of notes I want to hit and go over. I'm going to start from the way beginning. I'm going to go to the present day. I'm going to go through supplements, what I've learned, books, all the details that I wish I knew coming off and what I looked for on YouTube, online, etc. for all that information. So we'll start when I first went on. So it was 6 years ago. I'm 24 right now. In March, I will be 25. So I went on the hormonal birth control my junior year of high school. I think I was 17. I also was a late bloomer with my period. I didn't get my period until my sophomore year of high school. I was always very active, very athletic. I was always on the slimmer side, and obviously you need to have a certain amount of body fat percentage to get your period. So I was a late bloomer. I didn't get it until my sophomore year of high school. So by the time I went on the pill, I would only say I had my own regular natural period for a year. That may sound like a lot of time, but it's really not. If you think about it, that's only 12 months. Now we know how fast time can go by, so 12 months is really not that long, especially when you are just stepping into your womanhood and your body is adjusting in all those different ways. I did go on, not for any particular reason like acne or heavy periods or anything like that. I went on because I had a boyfriend and my mom was scared. I was still stepping into my womanhood, so the noticeable physical changes were obviously my boobs got bigger. I also noticed I was getting more cellulite and things like that I didn't have before going on. That could also be like a majority of things, but that's just something I noticed. I also noticed my moods would just be crazy sometimes, and I'd be like, why am I acting like this? Why am I feeling like this? Some things I couldn't get over if I was like fighting with my boyfriend or something. You'd just be so mad, and I remember being like, why am I like holding on to these things so hard? So like that was very different for me. Another thing that I honestly thought of recently that I was like, wow, was that related, was for the first time in my life, my junior year of high school, I experienced anxiety. Never in my life had I experienced anxiety before. It was a whole new thing. That is a whole other topic. But junior year of high school, we all know, is a very stressful time. I was taking harder classes. You are like more focused on like your SATs and things like that. So your junior year is very stressful overall, but that was the first year that I experienced anxiety, and it was something completely new for me. I didn't even know what it was. At the time, I thought the anxiety I was feeling was me about to pass out. That's a whole other video where I learned what anxiety was later on down the road. But I really had to try and get a hold of that because it was consuming me, because I thought every time I felt this anxious feeling, I was going to pass out. So I automatically started thinking I had a fainting problem, which I didn't. It was literally just anxiety, and I didn't know what that was. So looking back, I now know, and I put the pieces together. And I honestly don't experience anxiety like that anymore, but that was something I also overcame while still on the pill, it was just getting a hold of my mind and telling myself, you're fine, and what you're experiencing, you're not gonna faint. You're experiencing this because you're anxious. And I would just talk myself down, do like breathing exercises, focus on the things around me, because the type of anxiety I would experience, I ended up looking it up one time because I was sitting in my bed and all of a sudden I started like depersonalizing, and it would be like, where am I? This isn't my room. I'm not even in my body right now. And that would just start like escalating. And I remember sitting in my bed after this happened. It happened in class. It happened like at restaurants. It happened everywhere. And I would sit in my bed and I Googled it. And I found depersonalization. And I just read it. And I was like, whoa, this is the anxiety I'm experiencing. Like, wow. Once I realized what it was and I learned what it was, then I could easily talk myself down, because the thought of passing out was scary. And I didn't want to pass out because I had passed out like twice in my life. So I thought anytime I would feel that anxious feeling, I was going to pass out. So once I learned that it was not me going to pass out, I learned how to de-escalate my mind and focus back on the here and now, and that I was fine and in the present moment and everything around me is the same and blah, blah, blah. This is not about anxiety, but I just wanted to go over that. Junior year, I had anxiety for the first time ever. Don't know if those are related, but I honestly feel like they were. Those were the first initial symptoms, physically and mentally, that I felt and saw. Before going on the pill, I didn't have any crazy acne. I would just get that one hormonal breakout around like the time of the month. Like I would get one really painful pimple on my chin, sometimes on my forehead, on my nose, like very random spots, but it would usually only be just one, and then it would go away. Other than that, I had really nice skin. I had no issues with acne before. My periods, they weren't anything crazy heavy. They weren't very painful. They were just normal. That was me pre-pill. On the pill, obviously, your periods go lighter. This is something I have learned after the fact because they don't tell you this, but your period on the pill is not a regular period. It's called breakthrough bleeding, and it basically just happens when the hormone levels in your body drop the week of the placebo or the week that you don't take it, and that's what causes breakthrough bleeding. It's not actually your uterine lining shedding, which is what a regular usual period is. So for 6 years, I didn't have a regular period. And obviously, in order to have a period, you have to be ovulating. So this is the whole, what I've learned in the process. In order to have a period, to shed your uterine lining, you had to have ovulated, which is when you release eggs. Usually, most of the time, it's just one egg from one side of your ovaries, goes down the fallopian tube, and if you do not get pregnant, no sperm meets the egg, then you have your period in about 2 weeks. So that's usually how the process goes. When you are on the pill, your body thinks that you are already pregnant, essentially. So the pill prevents you from ovulating, and that's how you don't get pregnant. In order to get pregnant, you need to ovulate. You need to be releasing that egg. So that is how you don't get pregnant when you're taking the birth control pill, because your body already thinks you are pregnant. You're not ovulating. Because then in real life, when you are actually pregnant, you don't ovulate and you don't have your period. So for 6 years, I wasn't ovulating, wasn't having a regular period. My skin was pretty good throughout because a lot of people, the hormone birth control pill helps their skin a lot. And I'm going to get into that after, because skin for me was a huge thing coming off. I did go through moments of breakouts even still on the birth control pill. One of them was during the mask wearing period of time. I got breakouts all in my chin, and that was like a huge thing of me trying to solve. There was also another point in time, I want to say it was my junior year of college. I randomly started breaking out a lot, but I think that was because I was just using some skincare products that weren't agreeing with me. So I would not say my skin was perfect on the birth control pill overall. It was still pretty nice. Like I didn't experience anything crazy awful hormonal breakouts at all on the pill. So let me look at my notes so I can get back on track, because I wrote down so many things, so I wouldn't talk forever, because this is something I can talk forever about. Obviously, if you're here, you probably found my YouTube through my fitness content. So I went on the pill when I was 17. I was also very active. I did cheerleading from 5th grade all the way up through high school, and then I did like a year in college. So I was always very active, but I found fitness and the gym my freshman year of college. So this was 2016. I graduated high school in 2016, and then I went to college that fall, and that is when I found fitness. I can talk about my fitness journey in a whole other video and how I started and why I started and blah blah blah. When I found fitness my freshman year of college, I dove head in first. I was like in the gym all the time. I loved it. I was like obsessed with it. I would say my sophomore year of college was when I noticeably saw my body change, more toned, more athletic builds, more muscle, but I was still on the slimmer side. Like, I was getting more toned and I was building muscle. Like, I really built my butt, I toned my abs out, my upper body got way stronger, my legs got more toned, but I wasn't building muscle. I was just, it was like the beginning stages, and you know, a lot of people naturally just build muscle fast. I would say I'm more like that in certain areas, but overall, I would say I was just like an athletic figure. I wasn't like bulky or able to like build a bunch of muscle easily. I would say it took me about a year to look that toned and sculpted and blah blah blah. I was on the pill with my fitness journey my freshman year of college, my sophomore year, my junior year, my senior year. Then I did a 5th year of college because I transferred schools. So I was on the pill up until almost 2 years ago. So obviously it's 2023 right now. So I stopped the pill in 2021 in April. So now that we are at the point of why I stopped the pill, I will get into that and then my symptoms and what I experienced coming off of it. So it was 2021. I'm 24 right now. I'm about to be 25. So I was 22-ish. I don't know what came over me, but all of a sudden one day, I was just like, I want to stop. I'll also add, I've been with my boyfriend for 8 years. So we've been together since I started the pill to now. We were young kids to adults. I don't know what came over me, but I was just like, I want to get off of it. Like all of a sudden that like thought and idea was just in my head. I don't know why. I don't know what sparked it. I just had this anchoring and feeling to be my natural self and my natural body. I will also say around that time I went through a very big spiritual awakening, a lot of deep interpersonal work, and I feel like I was just a more lighter version of myself, and coming off the pill was sort of just that last step for me. I felt like I wasn't my true self for 6 years. I wasn't my true natural woman self for 6 years. I didn't even know what my adult female body was like without the pill. When I had that thought just like pop into my mind, I thought about it for a few weeks. It was scary. I didn't know who my body was without the birth control pill. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anything. So I thought and sat on it for a few weeks. The first things I did were go to YouTube and looked up coming off birth control experience videos. I wanted to hear firsthand from other females who went through it. I wanted to know what I should expect. I wanted to know just what they thought about the whole process and like what happened for them. So I watched so many of those videos. I can't think of anyone particularly off the top of my head, but there's so many different people who helped me make that jump and make that decision, because it can be scary and you don't know what to expect. So you're like, maybe I just won't. But those videos and those girls who talked about their experience immensely helped me, and I was like, no, I want to do this. Like, yes, I know this is what I'm gonna do. So I also hope that I can be here doing that for you. It seems overwhelming and it seems a lot, but it's not. Trust me. So I watched those videos. I also Googled things, looked up articles, and I also got this book. Okay, I took the covering off of it because when I would take it places with me to read, the cover would just always fall off, so I took it off. But I'm gonna pop it right here. It is Beyond the Pill by Dr. Jolene Brighton. This book, so many different girls recommended it, so I went and got it off Amazon. It is so informative. It taught me so much, and I recommended this to so many people. She goes into so many different things. She goes into what to do when you want to come off, what to do if you want to stay on but still help support your body in the meantime. She goes into side effects, hormone imbalances, mineral imbalances, vitamin imbalances, what actually happens in your body when you are on the pill. It is so informative, and I always say knowledge is power, and the more you know about your own body and what's happening and what's going into it, the more powerful you are. I will say, going on the pill, you are not told anything, or at least I wasn't. I went into the office, they prescribed it to me, told me you may have a higher chance of blood clots, but because of your age and blah blah blah, it's unlikely. But they don't go into the list of side effects that can happen during and when you come off. Now, everybody's experiences are different, and I've seen that firsthand about what happened to me versus what happened to my sisters versus what happened to my friends. So my experience and what I'm going to be talking about might not happen for you. Everybody is different. Every diet, every supplement, everything is different for everybody, but I'm just telling you my experience and what happened to me and what I learned. So this book, essential. There is a few others that I know a lot of other people recommended, and I'm also gonna pop them here and I'll leave them in the description below. So when I decided to come off, I watched YouTube videos, I looked things up, I got this book. This came in after I had already stopped, so I was reading it sort of as I was coming off. I also documented it all on my Snapchat for myself. I wanted to be able to look back and see what I was feeling, how my skin was looking, what my body was looking like. I wanted to be able to look back and see all of that for myself and have that documented so I could relate things. I could X out some things, say, oh no, that wasn't related, or that was related, or just see the differences and hear it from myself in that moment. I will pop some of those clips in here if it's relevant to what I'm speaking about. A lot of it was skin related because I'll get into that in a few minutes. So depending on what I'm comfortable with showing, I will pop some things in. But let's talk about what I first experienced right when I stopped. I also stopped kind of just cold turkey. I didn't wean myself off, which I've heard a few times that's good to do, like taking half of the pill and then maybe like a quarter of the pill, or doing it every other day. That is up to you, your own personal preference. Do your own research on what you think is best for your body and what you want to do there. For me, I just stopped. I was like, no, I'm not taking it tonight. I'm done. When I was on the pill, I also was using Clue, was the app I was using to track my period on the pill. Obviously, when you're on the pill, there's not much to track. You can just log in when you get your period, and that's that, and other things about your body and etc. So I did use that for a while. It wasn't that useful to me because it was kind of predictable. When I stopped, I looked into all the different apps, tracking, etc., to get to know my natural cycle and learn about my natural body. So right now, and since 2 years ago when I stopped, I'm using the app Flow. It has been great for me. I love that app. I do pay, I think it's like $1 a month or whatever for the member part of it. I think it's worth it compared to everything else we pay for. I know there's another popular one called Natural Cycles, where you take your temperature every morning and you log it either in a book, or I think they have an app too. And based off of your body temperature alone, it will get to know when you're ovulating, because when you're ovulating, your temperature spikes. I have not used that, but I've been interested in using that. So that is something that I've been thinking about, might look into in the future, who knows. Currently, and for the past 2 years, I've been using Flow, and it's been great for me. I've had no issues. It's really cool. Tracks your cycle, can track how you're feeling, your mood, your symptoms. Then it talks to you about all of those and what you're feeling. It has a bunch of informational content that you can read about, articles. There's also these secret forums for all the women that have the app that you can talk to in there, and nobody knows who you are. You're just talking to each other about things you've experienced. It's really cool, and I really enjoy that app. So when I first stopped, I started tracking in that one. Almost to the T a month later, I got my period, my natural, regular period. I know some women don't experience that. They don't get their period back for months, or maybe just not the month directly after, but thankfully I did. So that was a good sign for me. I remember being at work. It was around my first ever ovulation, and I felt pain in my side, and it was very uncomfortable pain. It wasn't cramps when like you're on your period. It was just like this sharp little pain. I know not every women experience this, but some women can. You can actually feel when your body's releasing the egg. It's crazy, but I now know that's what it was because I experienced that now. It's just like this little, only on one side, just this little like intense little like annoying stabbing pain for like a few minutes, and then that's it. I now know that it was my body releasing an egg. So I literally felt that, and I didn't know what the heck it was because it's been 6 years since I felt anything natural. And I was like, that was so weird. I remember like telling my coworkers, I'm like, I don't know what that was, but it was like very uncomfortable for like, I almost took Advil or something, but then I was like, no, I want you to feel this out, and I want you to learn how long it lasts, what it is. I just want to know, because if you take Advil, you cover the pain. You don't know how long it was there for. You don't know how bad it was. So I was like, no, we're going to wait this one out, which we did. And I learned that it must have been me ovulating. Shortly after that, I got my period. It wasn't anything crazy. It was definitely heavier than when I'm on the pill, because that's not a real period. And it came back full force. I experienced... I'm sure no men are watching this. This must just be only the girls. So I will say some things. But the period poops where like all of a sudden you just really gotta go. And that is a thing because everything is contracting inside you. So obviously your bowels, whatever, are also contracting more as well. So I experienced that. I was like, what the f is going on? And I remember being with one of my best friends, and I was like, I haven't experienced this in a little while. But I was totally okay with it because I'm like, I want to experience my natural cycle. I want to know my body. I want to know what's going on. I want to be my natural self. So I did experience that. But my first period, it wasn't anything awful. I didn't have any bad cramps. Maybe just a little bit, normal. Wasn't crazy heavy. It was just more than I was used to. I documented my skin as well almost the whole time through Snapchat pictures. My older sister went through her own journey of coming off the pill, so I kind of had her to talk to as well about the skin side of things because she went through her own whole skin journey. So mainly for the skin aspects, I would talk to her, but body-wise, you can't really compare yourself to anybody else because everybody's different. I remember it might have been a few months in, I got this weird cyst on my eye, and it wasn't on my eye. Like it first formed like right here in my eyebrow, and it started just as a painful cyst pimple. It wasn't above the skin, it was under the skin. And then I started noticing my eyes started getting swollen. I will insert a picture. It is scary because my whole eye ended up swelling up to the point where I could barely see out of it. It was so bad. I don't know if that was related. I think I just got a wicked bad cyst pimple in the weirdest spot. It was like right under here on my eyebrow. And because it was in that sensitive place on my eye, it like blew up. And it was in May. Actually, it was only a month after I stopped because it was in May. And I remember like I had a friend's birthday, I had all these things, and I had to wear like glasses. It was so embarrassing because I literally went to urgent care. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Please help me. They were like, oh my God, if this doesn't go down, they gave me 2 antibiotics. They're like, if this doesn't go down, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, what? I'm like, I don't feel like I need to go to the hospital. Like, I truly feel like it's just a zit that went out of control. But they were afraid that it was going to turn into cellulitis, I'm pretty sure, which can be like very dangerous. So I took the 2 antibiotics and it ended up going away. And I was like, thank God. It was painful and it was so ugly and it was so uncomfortable. So that was my first weird experience that I had. Other than that, my skin was still doing great. Nothing wrong. So when I also stopped, I would say soon after, I'd be working out in the gym and I was sweating so much. And this really made me remember how on the pill, I like never sweat. Ever. I remember like sitting in the sauna after a workout with my friends. They're all like dripping sweat. And I like barely had a few droplets. And I was just kind of like, I thought it was just me. And I naturally am like a cooler type of person. I don't get super hot all the time. I'm like usually more cold than I am hot. And I don't like actually sweat a lot. I'm not like a sweater. But I'm like, I'm sitting in a sauna right now. And I'm like barely breaking a sweat after a full workout. It was weird. And then after I stopped, I started sweating like a lot. And I'd be in the gym, not a lot, but just more noticeably. Like my lower back would be sweaty, my armpits would be sweaty, my face would be sweaty. I was like, wow. So the pill was actually making me not sweat. And I looked it up and that is a thing. So I was shocked. I was like, wow, which is also so bad because one of the main ways your body releases toxins is through sweating. And that wasn't happening. So more sweat was one of the main things I first realized. The second was, I would say after like 6 months, I noticed how more easily I was building muscle. And I was like, this is crazy. Like I started seeing more gains in my legs and my butt. Just the ability to have more weight on my body, which that might be different for some people, but for me, it wasn't, because I've always been naturally slimmer. So the fact that I was holding on to muscle more and for longer, I was like, I'm gonna look this up as well. And I read it in my book that because on the pill, some women have lower testosterone levels, you're not able to build and hold on to muscle as much as you usually would. So I definitely do think my testosterone levels were low on the pill, and I will go into that as well skin-wise, but the ability to gain and hold muscle was way easier for me. I can't talk about weight loss or anything like that because that was just not a part of my journey, but I know through my sisters, when they stopped, they lost a good 10 pounds, maybe more. And that was a part of their journey, but it's not a part of mine, so I can't really speak on that. But the gaining muscle part, I remember posting it to my Instagram. I remember talking about it. I remember being like, wow, all this time it was just because I had a lack of testosterone, most likely. Okay, so hi, editing Gab here. I also completely forgot to add that around month 5, I started losing so much hair at the top of my face and just hair overall. Like I was shedding a lot and I had a bunch of breakage. Like I could probably still find all the pieces. It's almost 2 years later, so the hair that fell out is like this. Where'd it go? It's like this long now. Those like short little pieces, those were all baby hairs. My hair has grown a lot in the past 2 years, but I'll insert photos about what I'm talking about because it's easier to see. But all of these used to be broken baby hairs framing my whole face. I honestly can't believe how long they've gone because it's taken a little while, but that was something that I noticed that I forgot to mention. Like even my boyfriend was like, you are shedding a lot more than usual. And I was like, I know. Like in the shower, I would be like, clumps of hair were coming out. I was like, this is weird. That happened like way before my skin ever freaked out. That happened, yeah, that was one of the first things. So 6 months into me off birth control was when my skin started to freak out. At first it wasn't anything awful, but it started down here on my chin, both sides of my mouth area on my chin. That's where I first started noticing breakouts. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna see this through. I know it's hormonal because of the placement, usually on your lower jaw, mouth area, that's hormonal acne. And I wasn't breaking out anywhere else. So I was like, okay, I think some things are starting to change. And I also looked it up, and they did say, well, if you look it up, Google's gonna tell you, like, I looked, how long afterwards does the pill fully exit your system? Google will tell you, oh, like 2 weeks later, you're yourself again. Some will tell you, oh, 2 months, you should be good. I learned that it's actually not for about 6 months that it fully is exited out of your system. And through the book I'm reading, that I was reading, by Dr. Jolene Brighton, you may never be the exact same body-wise as you were before the pill. Now that's something they don't tell you. And that just goes into all of the different things that happen inside your body when you're on the pill and how it affects your body in the smallest ways that you may never be the same. So 6 months, I remember thinking, okay, my skin is now starting to freak out. What should I be doing? When I first stopped, I think I was taking a multivitamin, I was taking zinc, and I was taking vitamin D. I have been taking a probiotic for actually since my freshman year of college. I've been taking a probiotic because randomly in college I started getting the worst heartburn ever. I don't know what caused it. It could have been the pill. We'll get into that as well. But I've been taking a probiotic for that long. That was also something I was taking at the time. Once I started breaking out, I started getting scared because I was like, I do not want this. I do not claim this energy. I started talking to my sister. I'm like, what the frick do I do? And she was like, this is what I took. Like, I know how you feel. I went through the same exact thing. And I started documenting it. I will post some pictures in here of what it first started looking like. I then started looking at Dr. Jolene Brighton's supplements. She has her own website. She has an Instagram. She's great. Like, I really, really, really look to her for information on hormones. She had a hormone balance supplement. I currently don't have it because I stopped taking it, but I took it for about 5, maybe 6 months. I took that, and I do think it helped. I do, but I think a lot more was going on inside my body that alone just could not help. I learned through the book that you are very deficient in many different minerals and vitamins that the pill depletes, like zinc, for instance. That's one of them. So she also has a meal plan, tells you what you should be eating to help support your body in the coming off the pill stages. Even if you still are on the pill, she goes into all of that as well, which I did look at, and I honestly was already eating a lot of those things, but you know, I was still eating, like, you're supposed to not really eat gluten. I've been dairy free for a while now, so hi baby, my boy's here. Do you want to say hello to the people? He hates he hates being in the camera. He also hates sitting like this. Look, baby, look. I know the window is so bright. This is Salem. He's my actual son, and I love him. Oh my god, he's so mad. Can you just show them your beautiful face? Show them your beautiful face. Look at the camera. He is so, his little, like, but he's gonna stay right here the whole time. So the meal plan, I did look at it, and I did take some from that, and I also was already eating a lot of the good stuff. I've been dairy free and vegetarian for a while now. I would say since like my sophomore year of college, I've been vegetarian. I was hardcore dairy free for a little while, but now I eat it here and there. But dairy was not something I ate at the time, and I was vegetarian, so I was already supplementing in that way with like the essential B vitamins and things like that. But she goes into everything. She has quizzes to learn like which hormone may be increased or decreased for you. It's very interesting. But once I started breaking out, immediately you're like, is this hormonal? Is it something I'm eating? Is it something I'm taking? Is it stress? Is it my skincare? Is it blah, blah, blah? And you start going through. He's trying to eat all my fake flowers over there and knocking over everything. Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. So I just remember at first I was just trying to support my bodies in the way that I could. Nothing off the bat other than the hormone balance supplement. It's called Balance by Dr. Jolene Brighton. Now my other friend has now came in to join us. Oh gosh, and I'm also trying to work with the daylight right now because it is shifting over. You're gonna be my new pal. We're almost done, okay? After that, it kind of progressively went downhill for my skin. It was just December now, last month. So a year ago in December, I remember actually starting to be affected by how it was feeling on my skin. I started getting upset. I started wondering when will it stop, because it wasn't just around my period. It wasn't just a certain time of the month. It started to be I would have breakouts constantly. If you have gone through anything with your skin, you know how upsetting that can be to constantly see it and not know how to fix it, not know how to change it. So I remember 8 months in, I was like, what is going on? I started being insecure about my skin. I started being sad about my skin. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. You start using all the different skincare products. You start using every supplement, looking at anything people have to say and taking their information or not taking their information. I started doing so much research, and that's when I really started learning more and more and more. So I will pop in some photos that I have, or maybe a video of me talking if I feel up to it, about that time. But I specifically remember December being the month where I was like, okay, this is getting too much. I'm getting upset. It's affecting my mood emotionally, and I need to change this. And from that point on, it was a very long journey to where we are right now today. Obviously, my skin is way better. I have makeup on right now. I just finished my period almost a week ago, so the breakouts that I had around my period have cleared up. I still have very much scarring, red, crazy marks from all of the breakouts that I had since December to this December. A whole year went by with insane breakouts. A whole year. I can't even believe that at this point, because that was one of the most intense years for me emotionally, because you know, when like your skin is going through shit, you are not yourself. You don't feel good. You don't feel as confident. You really just have to keep faking it until you make it. And it takes a toll on you emotionally. So if you are going through anything with your skin right now, just know you are not alone. It does not define you, and it's not you. Like, anything that is coming through on your skin is a direct representation of things off inside your body, and I firmly believe that. Other things, there's also like fungal acne and things like that, but most acne is a sign that something is off inside of your body. And that is another thing I learned with the pill. Doctors will just hand it out like it's candy. If you have something wrong, a heavy period, acne, any period problems, overall, don't want to get pregnant, whatever. Here's the pill. Bye, see you later when you have all these symptoms that are bothering you, and we're just going to tell you to switch pills. So there are many doctors that are great out there, but there's also many that I believe don't know it all, and they can't know it all. So you have all these women who are given the birth control pill, and then they come off, and it's actually called like post-pill syndrome. Like, it is a whole thing. I don't know if that's the exact term, but after reading this book by Dr. Jolene Brighton and finding the community of women on YouTube, etc., who have gone through this same exact thing, it is a very real thing. And not everybody experiences to the extremes that others experience things. It is just shocking when you start learning and finding out what it actually does to your body. Now, I'm not like anti-pill or anything like that. I believe you should do what's best for you at a certain moment in your life, and you should be making that decision, nobody else. You should be the ruler of your body and your decisions, and you should be informed on those decisions. I just think so much information is lacking when we make that decision. A lot of the information I have learned, all of the information I have learned, is from me doing my own research and me looking into things and teaching myself about what's going on in my body and what the pill did to my body and how to help myself after coming off of it. The pill is just a band-aid for all of those symptoms that you are feeling. If you have a heavy period, you probably have hormonal imbalances. It's probably an estrogen dominance. If you have acne in certain places, if you have major gut issues, they are all deeper issues that the pill just covers. They didn't go away. If you have acne and you went on the pill and it got better, it didn't go away. The core reason as to why you had acne is still there. So when you come off the pill, however many years down the road, you will still experience those issues because it wasn't treated. It wasn't fixed. The core of the issue just had a band-aid slapped over it and said, see you later. So that's why all these women go through these issues, because the core problem has never been fixed. It hasn't been addressed, and it's still there. And it will probably come back worse by the time you get off the pill. Now, I don't want to scare anybody, because that is not what this is. It's honestly, I'm trying to empower you to take hold of your own body and to learn and teach yourself on what's going on inside your body. Again, I'm not anti-pill. I was on it for 6 years. I believe you have to do what's best for you in that moment. And to help support your body, even if you are on the pill and you choose to do that and you think it's best for you, then how to most properly nourish and support your body while you're also on the pill. This video is definitely already so long, but I knew it was going to be, so whatever. You're here for the long haul if you're in this deep. Experiencing crazy hormonal acne for a year, that was completely new for me. I did not experience that pre-pill. I did not know how to handle it. My sister went through the same thing, so I had somebody to confine in who knew exactly how I was feeling and could try and help me in the best ways that she could, from skincare products to supplements she took, etc., that truly helped her. So I went a lot based off of her recommendations because she went through it firsthand, and I had somebody that I could go to like her, and I'm so grateful for that. So Molly, I know you're going to be watching this because this is also something she is very, very passionate about. Thank you, and I love you because, not me, about to get emotional. I love you, and I don't know if I could have done the past year without you, so thank you. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I guess just now where I'm at, to the point where I can sit here and talk about this, is a really big step for me, and that my skin is finally in a place where I don't feel sad about it constantly. It's a really big step. I can't believe I just cried. See, that's something else. I'm a very emotional person. The word empath is thrown around a lot, but the way I feel emotions and I can feel other people's emotions is very strong, and I wouldn't say that's because of me coming off the pill. I think I was just brought back into my natural state of having that empathy for others and being able to feel that empathy for myself. I can cry easily, but that's just me, and I will own every single bit of that, because to be able to feel your emotions is a very beautiful thing, and I'll never hide it. So yeah, I just cried for a minute, but we're good now. But yeah, to be able to sit here, the sun is literally shifting, and speak about my experience and how much I went through with my skin and just that whole journey on its own is a very big thing for me. The fact that I'm finally able to do this now. So let me go a little bit more through that. I experienced hormonal acne all over my mouth area, my jaw, my chin. There was a point, I would randomly get things on my cheeks, but there was a point where I was breaking out on my forehead, and I was like, what is going on? It kept happening right between my eyebrows, and they would pop up in these same places over and over and over and over again. Or if one would go down, go away, another one would pop up. So it was just like my skin was not getting a break. It was constantly being scarred. Even though I wouldn't pop things, things would just get so red and so inflamed. And I just couldn't figure out why. I tried many different things, many different supplements for months. The whole summer, I feel it got a little bit better, but then it would just keep getting worse. And I remember I just kept breaking out, and it was like a triangle right here on my chin, over and over and over and over and over again. I'll insert some pictures of that because it was literally like a perfect triangle. And I remember thinking, what is this? Almost just like it's like just getting infected over and over again. Now, when I tell you I tried every skincare product, I tried a bunch of supplements. I was taking zinc, I was taking the hormone balance, I was taking cod liver oil, vitamin C, vitamin D, everything. And I remember, I think it was last May, beginning of the summer, might have been June, I was like, okay, I tried giving my body its natural time to figure this out. I will not go on Accutane. I will not go on spirulactin. I won't take antibiotics because none of that actually fixes what's going on. It just kills all the bacteria in your body, good bacteria and bad bacteria, and I won't do it. Gut health is so important, and that honestly is another huge factor for a lot of women, is their gut. In my own opinion, I feel like anybody who experiences cheek acne or like breakouts on their cheeks is linked to their gut. And I base that off of my own opinion and my own research through people I heard speak about their experiences and the acne that they had. I just, for something in me says that cheek acne is your gut health. And I think that's also because the women I listened to talk about their experiences really focused on their gut health, and their cheek acne cleared. My gut health has been great, honestly, for years because I've been taking a probiotic, and I just eat really well, so my gut health has honestly been great, even currently right now. So I knew that that wasn't a part of my issue. I'm sure it had something to do with it because the pill affects your gut as well. But I knew it was hormonal. And I knew it was hormonal because nothing I did helped it. No skincare product. Supplements did help, but it was never anything drastic. I'll get into all the supplements like in a minute. I'm moving with the light currently. Nothing topical and barely anything I put inside my body was helping my acne, and it was there constantly. It wasn't just a point in the month. So that's when I was kind of like, okay, I know this is a way deeper rooted problem than I can even help with. So I did more research and I found this Australian-based holistic naturopathic practice, and they're called Happy Healthy Wellbeing, and I found that they do like in-person consultations. They also do Zoom related stuff. It is very expensive. I'm over here in the US, so I obviously couldn't go in person to do those things, but they have a picture perfect skin program that you can join virtually, and it is very in-depth. You order a hormone testing kit and you do the kit, and then you send it back and they get your test results, and it tells you a whole bunch of stuff. It's a saliva based hormone test kit, so I did that, and I think it was June, and I sent it back in. My results came back that I was low in progesterone, which I'll pop up what progesterone means and does for your body, but I'm pretty sure it is related to ovulation and being able to hold the egg and that kind of thing. It said I was low in progesterone, and I was low in a lot of other things. I was expecting to be like high in testosterone, high in like a bunch of other things, because for a while my boobs would be really sore, like for a few weeks. But I honestly just think my body started to naturally try and balance things out. If I was on the pill and certain hormones were being suppressed, then you come off, obviously your body's gonna start being like, whoa, we gotta start pumping that out, getting it back. So I think that's why I experienced different things at certain moments. Like I was sweating, I think my testosterone just came skyrocketing back, and then maybe that balanced out, and then I think that happened with my estrogen and so on. So I do truly believe it took almost 2 years for my body to naturally get back to its normal state where I'm not breaking out 24/7. And that honestly hasn't happened until just recently. So when I did that program, they're very informative. His name is Hayden. He's the man who runs it, and then he has a few women that work underneath him that do the monthly checkups. So I was prescribed. I was told what supplements to get for what my test results were. They also check things like your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormones, and that's related to like your adrenal glands and so on. So all of those things are affected when you come off the pill, all of them. It is so interesting, and what I've learned, I can't even like begin to sit here and talk about it all. I just really suggest that you do that, because it will make so much sense for you and your body and what is probably going on, and just information wise. So I took a few different supplements for them, honestly, up until about 2 months ago. So like from like June, July up until maybe like November. Yeah. I was taking, it's called the Rhodalia complex, and that is for your adrenal glands and for your stress response, because my cortisol levels were high, which I kind of figured because I was also in more of a stress state, obviously having skin issues, but just daily life, people are usually more stressed, and I was. And stress can take a very big toll on your skin, but I was taking that, and then I was taking something called Femme Restore, which was to help raise my progesterone levels naturally. That is the herb called Vitex. That can be a little bit tricky for some people, and I do believe it wasn't the best match for me. I didn't experience any skin help from that. It actually can have the opposite effect on a lot of people, and I do believe that was a part of my issue because it didn't help me. Also, with herbs and natural supplements, things can take time, so you can't form opinions right away. So I was giving it some time. I was taking the Rodalia, the Femme Restore, which was the Vitex, a powder supplement that was like a bunch of minerals and herbs, like B vitamins, magnesium, zinc, all that sort of stuff, because your body gets low in all of those things. I was taking that for a little while, and then a DIM supplement. And DIM is to help naturally detox estrogen out of your body. I want to say things got a little better, but it was still not clear skin, and it wasn't where I wanted it to be. I gave it 6 months. I think I gave it 7 months, and things just did not really change for me. So my older sister Molly, who I keep talking about, who went through this on her own, she has a few supplements that she swears by and that helped her immensely. I'll pop the first one up here. It's called berberine. Now, berberine is a natural antibiotic. It is mainly used to help lower blood sugar levels, which is another thing the pill can do, is it can spike your insulin, or there's also cases where people become insulin resistant. So berberine can help that, and that immensely helped her. So she told me constantly, she was like, you should really try berberine. Now, obviously with any herb, any natural supplement, you should do your research for your own body if it will be good and work for you. You need to look into that on your own. Talk to your doctor if you have one you trust and love, and form your own opinion. I wasn't sure for a little while, but Happy Healthy Wellbeing had all their own supplements, and they had berberine. So I asked them what they thought and if it would be okay to take with the other ones I was taking, and they said yes. So I took it, and I want to say I started seeing improvements. I started having less hormonal breakouts. My forehead cleared up. So you're not supposed to take berberine for, I think, more than like 8 to 12 weeks. I don't think I took it for 12 weeks, but I took it for like 6 to 8. I think that's how long I took it. I stopped taking the Vitex. I stopped taking, because I was like, I think the Vitex is making me break out more. So I stopped taking that. Only took the other ones I mentioned, and a few others like the cod liver oil, vitamin D. Another one my sister Molly swears by, she also went to a naturopath, a different one, when she was going through her own skin issues, and they recommended she take pantothenic acid, which is vitamin B5, and NAC. I still take this. It's antioxidant supporting a healthy liver, and it supports the body's normal detoxification process, because your liver is another thing that is very much affected when you come off the pill. Your liver is the organ that detoxes everything from your body, and, well, one of them, and it can get very overloaded and overwhelmed. So in the summer, I also tried, it's called Liver Juice by Organic Olivia, and I really liked this as well. I can't say I noticed anything crazy, but just knowing I was helping my liver out was great. So I tried this by Organic Olivia, and I did like it. This is the cod liver oil that I took and still take here and there. It's called Droppy it's pure Icelandic cod liver oil, extra virgin. I got this off Amazon. This just helps so many things. I did a bunch of research into this. It's mainly like a natural form of vitamin A, and vitamin A can be very beneficial for the skin as well. I was taking zinc, but you just have to be careful to not be taking too much zinc. You should be taking a zinc with a copper in it, because you don't want to deplete your copper stores, because those two kind of go hand in hand. I really have to finish this video because the sunlight is gone and I've been talking for literally an hour. But I stopped taking all supplements in November because I got sick, and that week my skin was clear. I literally was so confused because I was like, so is it something I'm taking? Is it something I'm not taking? So I slowly just started to introduce things back in, like just simple things like the Rodalia complex and vitamin D, my probiotic, vitamin C, and my skin was great for like about 2 weeks. Then I started noticing I just was getting the hormonal breakouts. Not bad at all, but just a few here and there around my mouth. My forehead was clear and has stayed clear for a very long time, but the chin area is just an area for me that will not leave. But now it's more at a certain point in my cycle. So it's usually right before my period and then on my period. So I can kind of expect that now. I also recently just started this vitamin. I got it on Black Friday. It's called Zilch. It is 100% natural herbal supplement by Dr. Vivian Tam. They're Chinese herbs. They are all like great quality. There's no crappy filler ingredients. And I just started this one to help support my skin because I'll pop it up here what this one is all about. I just felt like I wanted something to be doing a little bit more skin related other than just like the regular ones that I was taking. So that's why I started that one. And I've been taking that probably for about 5 weeks now. And my skin has improved immensely, I will say. I've been able to feel confident in it again. If I have a cystic hormonal breakout, it will go away in about like a week, maybe like a week and a half. It's not always the fastest, but it will go away. And that is something I haven't experienced in a really long time. So I do finally feel like I'm at the point in my body, in my daily routine, where I'm more easily able to handle stress. I'm eating well. I'm only drinking coffee with breakfast, never on an empty stomach. I'm consistent with my supplements, and I'm tracking my periods so I know exactly when to expect them, if it's late, what symptoms are naturally occurring for me, like if my boobs get sore the week before my period, or if this is when I get a little breakout, now I can expect it. So overall, I'm at the point now in my cycle and in my life where I can feel confident in my body and in my skin, and I know exactly what's going on. There is a whole other side to this, pregnancy related and whatnot. We've reached the point in the video where I needed to put on another light because the sun has went down. Okay, so I put up a question box on my Instagram because I've been very open about this topic on Instagram to my followers, etc., trying to help anybody else who's going through it. And they left a few questions. One of the popular ones was your sex drive and losing your sex drive and just not feeling in the mood, not wanting to do that at all. And I just want to say you're not alone, because I went through that. I know many people went through that, and it's literally not you. It's your hormones. They're just out of balance, and your body isn't flowing naturally in the way it's supposed to. Even women on the pill experience that, like vaginal dryness or just not being able to like be turned on and just not in the mood and you don't enjoy it. And that is a very common thing, and I feel like everybody blames themselves and they think something's wrong with them. It's not you. It's literally not you. It's your hormones. And when they're being blocked naturally versus when you come off and they're all out of whack, it's literally the same thing. I went through a major hormone balancing journey, not just for my skin, but for my body, and like endocrine disruptors and products that I'm using and so on. It just goes so much deeper, and this whole past year I like dove deep into all of that. So my biggest tips to you would be to try and just focus on hormone happy foods, hormone happy lifestyle and rhythm, and what that looks like for when you wake up, to when you eat breakfast, to when you have coffee, to when you exercise, to what you choose to do around your cycle in each phase, because I can't speak about it all in this video because it is just so detailed and in depth. Try and figure out what other symptoms you have and what you could be low on, I really recommend reading Beyond the Pill by Dr. Jolene Brighton. It's amazing. It gives you literally all the information that you need to try and help figure out what's going on in your body. But just know that it's not you. And I experienced that. And I also experienced the very opposite, where you are very in the mood and your body is working how it should be. And there are times in the month where you will be in the mood and then you won't be in the mood. And it's very predictable, and you're obviously in the mood around your ovulation because your body is trying to get you pregnant. So that's literally just the science of it and the legit facts. Now I notice patterns. I can tell when things are going to happen, when things aren't going to happen. Another common question is, what do I do about pregnancy? How do you prevent it, etc.? And this is where I say, do what's best for you in the moment in time. If you are somebody who you know will not be able to track your cycles, I can't tell you how to live your life based on that. That is a choice and a decision you're gonna have to make for yourself. I will say though, nobody teaches women about their cycles or even when you can get pregnant. So you can only get pregnant around your ovulation. Now that is about a week out of the month, give or take a few days in the beginning or end. And you can naturally learn when you are ovulating by tracking your cycles, paying attention to the signs and symptoms in your body, which is different for everybody, but for me, you get like a thicker, like slimier, clear discharge, your temperature goes up, you just feel more in the mood. Like I can tell when I am, and then that also matches up to my app, and I've been tracking and logging for long enough that my app is correct. The other thing that people hate, but it's condoms. Literally. I don't know why everybody has such like a negative thought towards them, but if you're not confident in yourself or your tracking abilities or your partner, use a condom. Literally not that big of a deal. If you are somebody that you know you will not be good at doing all of those things, then make the best decision for you. But the biggest thing I've learned is you cannot get pregnant every single day of the month, and people have to scare you about that, thinking you're gonna get pregnant like all the time. You can't. You can only get pregnant when your body is releasing an egg at that point in the month. Now, it's up to you to learn how long that is. You can literally get test strips from Amazon that can tell you when your peak ovulation day is, and to just stay away from that time zone. There's many ways to figure that out. There's many other forms of birth control that aren't hormonal as well that you can look into and do your own research. But for me personally, I track and I know my cycle, and when I'm not feeling confident, I use condoms. And that shouldn't be like a bad thing, or like condoms or blah blah. Like, if your partner is controlling that aspect for you and is making you feel bad about coming off the pill or bad about your decision, they are not the right partner for you. If the pill is negatively affecting your body and this is a decision you want to make for yourself in your body, dump them if they are making you feel any other sort of way. Your body and your mental health, do not let anybody control your decisions about your body. I don't care who it is, what it is, no. If there is somebody in your life who's like, no, like, don't do that because, like, I benefit more from it when you are on the pill, they're not somebody you want to be with. Period. Your partner should support you in your decisions about your body and what is best for your body, and it will honestly benefit them in the long run. Just saying. So yeah, that is my 2 cents on that topic. Again, everything has a time and a place, so do what you think is best for you and your body in that moment in time. I can't tell you what to do. I can't control how much research and thought and action you do in your life. So I'm just giving a little bit of tidbit of information, and you can take that or leave it or do whatever. The main things I would say, if you are thinking of coming off the pill, or maybe you just did, get this book, get other books, read them, follow hormone healthy accounts on Instagram. I follow Dr. Jolene Brighton. I follow a few others that'll pop up on the screen that I like. They are very helpful, very insightful, and you won't feel alone in your journey. There's many professionals out there who know exactly what you're going through. Don't be afraid to go to a holistic practitioner. Don't be afraid to go get some blood work done. I've been wanting to do that for a really long time. It's just been hard finding a doctor right now. They're all very much booked. But I want to do that as well, just to check my overall health, make sure I'm not deficient. Look into your gut health. I swear by my probiotic, but there's also many foods and diet plans that really help support a healthy gut and a healthy balance in that aspect. So definitely do your research on gut health. Look into a pro or prebiotic. The gut to brain connection is literally crazy and essential. Your gut is literally your second brain. I really need to wrap this up. So overall, I would do it all again. I do not regret 1 second of the journey that I've been through these past almost 2 years. I am so happy in my natural body, in my natural state. I'm so happy learning about myself and about the natural rhythms, cycles, peaks and valleys that our bodies as women go through. I'm so happy to have my period, to have my cycle. I don't look at it as a negative thing. Your period and your cycle is a sign of health. So it's honestly a blessing to have a natural cycle and be able to experience those things. It tells a lot about a woman's health, and it's all so important. So if you are thinking of doing it or you did it, A, I'm so proud of you. B, you can do it. It is not that scary. Half the stuff I just talked about, you might not even experience 1 second or ounce of it because everybody's different. The lengths of time that we spent on the pill are different. So just know that there are endless resources out there for you. There is endless books and people to follow on social media that know exactly what you're going through and know exactly how to fix it, how to treat it. Look into doctors, holistic healthcare practitioners that you think you could trust, or if you need their expertise. Comment anything down below. I'd be happy to help. Maybe I'll make a part 2 answering questions if people have them. If you made it to the end of this video, you're a real one. I hope it helped. I hope it put a little ease in your heart. So just know you are not alone, and there are endless resources out there and professionals and people who have gone through the same exact thing as you, and you will get through this. It is literally only temporary. I never saw an end in sight with my skin. I thought I would just be breaking out forever, but everything is temporary, and it is not you, and it does not define you. So I hope this video helped. I have so much love for every single one of you. If you have any questions, my Instagram DMs are always open. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see next from me. And I appreciate and love every single one of you. Thank you for being here. And if you stayed to the very end, I love you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.